We got a Rogue Mage Priest Mirror. We got a Rogue Mage Priest Mirror. Go next versus Method Black. Straight mirror. And it's going to be whoever plays better is going to win this matchup on the blind pick, which it's going to be nice to see.
I mean, Method Black did that on purpose, like, right? Like, they don't usually play this with a priest lately.
Yeah.
They're practicing for their mirror against AWC.
Oh, okay. All right, well, the doors are open. It is Go Next versus Method Black in a RMP mirror.
Ratapai gets to play his main discipline priest and go head-to-head with Chaz. I would imagine Go Next are pretty happy about this situation, but both priests in crowd control. Raikou pulls the trigger first. Big motorcycle out from Waz on a Fried Kitty, but Temporal Shield absorbed the hit, healing him, and they're actually going after Chaz with the Gladiator Spites, trying to overload his corruption. A risky strategy to go after the healer in a Rogue Mage Mirror, and it's going to cost them their ice block for that strategy choice and put them very far behind.
Yeah, this...
Get decent help there from Raikou. Raikou also able to secure a CC there onto Ratapai. It's going to allow Method Black to get ahead in this mage race. Ratapai trinketing now out of a polymorph. He did already use blind on the side of Waz with Chaz, taking so much damage here, using that pain suppression. Could still be in a lot of trouble. Fried Kitty on the flip side, though, also going down here, Sid.
Ooh, half polymorph on Ratapai. Cauterize is about to trigger. Fried Kitty has nothing here. Blind half duration. Method Black close it out. Go Next tried to bring a surprise, going after the healer with the Gladiator Spites and trying to get an overly corrupted strategy going, but it didn't work. It backfired, and Method Black were quick to respond.
And like you guys were saying before this game, Go Next are not really that flexible. They don't have a lot of comms besides what we just saw there. So my question, it makes me wonder how this series is going to go here against Method Black then.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to lie. That looked extremely one-sided. There was one moment in the game where Chaz was a little bit scared, but it just seemed like Method Black, they had a better game plan, a better opener, a better middle game, a better end game. Like, everything was looking better for Method Black. So if I was Method Black, I would just walk in Rogue Mage Priest, and I don't think at this point there's really anything Go Next can do about it except try to mirror them. And I mean, that's obviously not an easy thing to do. Method Black, when they're looking this good on the Rogue Mage Priest, or just Rogue Mage in general, it is not easy to go toe-to-toe with them. So I think Go Next are going to have to seriously reconsider their game plan and figure out something, you know, a different strategy, just maybe go back to the traditional mage race, and I think that should look a lot better for them.
Well, what do you think, Zico? Assuming that they're going to play, assuming that Go Next is going to play that RMP again, what do you think that they should do in terms of gameplay to maybe try and hold out a little bit longer against Method Black in hopes that they can maybe turn it around here?
Just play the mage race and may the better team win. Like I like what they're doing with the Sab Spite attempt onto Chaz. They're trying to punish that Relentless pick, but unless you have crowd control onto Waz when that happens, that's not gonna like Waz immediately just went back, cheap shot at the enemy rogue, got his pressure on the mage, they force ice block. If you're doing that as the rogue, as soon as you've sapped the healer, you need to go over to the enemy rogue, cheap shot him, try to get a garrote maybe onto Raikou, and then make your way back to the priest and blind him, because that way you're setting up your team for that triple crowd control, and you're gonna have that big spite go. But if you don't do that, then Waz is just gonna run circles around you.
Could they play anything with Shadow Priest?
Shadow Mage, Shadow Rogue.
I was wondering why they picked Tolveron.
Yeah, they just locked in
I thought
Tolveron.
Tiger's Peak would have been safer. It makes me wonder if they're trying to bait Method Black to change, and Go Next doesn't want to mirror. Like, they want to get the Rogue Mage into a Wizard matchup. Like, they're really hoping to get that and try and win with Spite on the lock. I feel like if I'm Method Black, I just play the same thing, though, until it stops working. But they're taking the time. They're going to switch to the Wizard Cleave. So Go Next, get the Wizards. And now, are they going to regret that? I mean, if they had picked a smaller map, Method Black wouldn't pick Mage Lock. So they picked this wanting Mage Lock. I hope they don't end up regretting it.
Okay.
I mean, you usually do. You're usually full of regrets when you're behind the pillar, and Mage Lock is just, you know, completely owning you. But I mean, there is an opportunity here, like we talked about. There's been some significant changes that could favor Go Next in this matchup if they do decide to go with the Rogue Mage. I mean, Conflict and Strife isn't as strong. Mistweaver Monks, Life Cocoon was nerfed a little bit. Versatility in general isn't as powerful, so we could see Go Next go for, you know, a Gushing Wounds play to try to push Method Black over. So I don't think Go Next is really out of it, and they had to kind of expect this, right? Like, if they didn't expect this, I would be absolutely baffled with their decision making.
All right, well, we're seeing Go Next respond to that Method Black Mage Long composition, and Go Next is going to play Fire Mage Rogue. Now we're seeing Fried Kitty play that Fire Mage. What do we think the advantages of that are, Zico?
Well, the Frost Mage is going to have more control, more snares. Basically, the Frost Mage, in short, wants to, you know, try to extend the game and then win, you know, later on. Whereas the Fire Mage wants to try to set up, you know, a one-shot or force people back with how much pressure you have. And then, you know, if you have a Warlock or something on your team, then that Warlock can kind of help keeping them there and make sure that you slowly win. So, in short, Fire, more burst, Frost, more control, more survivability.
Is this wise, do you think, against the Mage Lock on Tolvaron?
Yeah, I think when you're playing against the Priest, you have an automatic win condition, which is at some point the Priest is going to have to start healing with Shadow Mans, and it's going to really tax his mana. Even if Ratapai goes full like mana per 5 build and he goes double, you know, mana regen trinkets and everything, at some point, like on 5-10% dampening, he's going to have to just spam out inefficient healing to just keep his teammates alive. So I think it's smart because the Frost Mage is going to make it a little bit more annoying for Go Next to get their setups, to get out in the open. And also, if they ever have to go back behind the pillar, the Frost Mage has an advantage there as well because you have better poke damage and also AoE slows.
What about Fire Mage, though, for Go Next, Ben? What do we think about that over Frost?
Well, it's just more burst oriented, right? So, I mean, Fried Kitty is going to have a lot more burst damage at his disposal, and I think that's how Go Next is going to win. It's not going to be about consistent damage. It's going to be all about a big one-shot with either spike trinkets or crowd control on Chaz, and they have to win with as much damage as possible and as short of window as possible. And I think that's something that Fire Mage excels at, so it kind of makes a lot of sense that Fried Kitty is going to be going with that as an option. I think as the Frost Mage against Raikou and Swapsy on the Mage and Warlock, you'd probably just get bullied way too much, wouldn't have that same sort of burst, and I just don't think it would work out nearly as well. And I think that's one of the reasons why we see Fire Mages so prevalent with the Rogue Mage right now.
All right, well, the game is going to be starting pretty soon here. Go Next certainly feeling the pressure. They're one game away from being knocked out of this tournament. Method Black up 2-0, really showing these guys why they deserve to be back up in that upper bracket position. But Go Next, this is a team full of veterans. You know, Ratapai, Valet, Fried Kitty, and Ashley, all super, super good players in their own rights, of course, and we've seen success with all of these players on a team before. So certainly wouldn't count them out of the running yet. It is Go Next versus Method Black. Are they going to be able to turn it around here on Tolvaron?
I think the strategy is going to be kind of predetermined based on the essence selection. If Chaz is running Conflict and Strife, I don't want to see him as the target. But if he is running Vitality Conduit, I think swapping to Chaz is a great choice. The standard strat, I think, for the Rogue Mage here would be to just sit on the Destruction Warlock, use Gladiator's Spite as much as possible, try and overload him, and then move into Crowd Control Chaz. But again, if Chaz is not running Conflict and Strife, I would love to see swaps to the Mistweaver Monk. To me, the one weakness of Mistweaver, if there was a weakness to Mistweaver, is when you're being targeted and you have to move and deal with multiple interrupts at the same time. And if you don't have the Conflict and Strife to bolster yourself up when you're stunned, it becomes that much more difficult.
All right, let's see. Raikou in the midfield. What is he going to be looking to do? Throwing in a Frozen Orb on Ratapai, just trying to slow him down, and that's going to be Raikou's job. Swapsy is going to be in a lot of trouble, and we have to see Raikou try to defuse that. Let's see if he can do it. Swapsy getting low very early on. It is going to be the Unending Resolve, and this is the big one-shot I'm talking about. And Chaz actually in a full polymorph, might just win in the opener. Swapsy gets 5% health and taken down. That is the risk when you go against the Rogue Mage Priest, and that is what I was talking about. I mean, this could definitely backfire for Method Black. I don't think they were expecting that, and it's crazy.
That was Life Cocoon, Vitality Conduit, Unending Resolve, Dwarf Racial. They pressed every button.
It's spite, man. What can you do?
I've never seen Mage Lock end before 50% dampening. What just happened?
I told you, man. I actually, what's really funny is I've been playing a bit of Mage Lock. I've been playing a little bit of Mage Lock on live. I think you were actually watching my stream while I was doing it, and we were getting owned by Rogue Mage every game. I was playing with Azale. So I was looking for this game as like, what can we improve on? Like how is Method Black gonna win this one? And it turns out it looks about the same as when Azale and I were playing it. I can, yeah. Method Black should not lock in Mage Lock. They looked amazing with the Rogue Mage Priest. Just play Rogue Mage Priest, play the mirror, stop trying to get an advantage, just outplay them like you did in game number 1. And I mean, I feel like they try to get too fancy. Go Next is going to be able to capitalize on that. I mean, look at that game. That was an absolute blowout. Method Black got completely owned, and now Go Next, they've managed to tie up the series. So I would expect we go to kind of a neutral map, and Method Black is going to be looking to just play RMP into RMP, because I don't know if Mage Lock is going to work against Rogue Mage Priest, especially one that can play this aggressive. I think we all do.
People don't like my voice, but like that's why I was making the voice.
Dude,
like,
I was
they
so
pressed
confused.
every button at a really high health. Like,
I'm
yeah,
gonna be honest,
okay,
man, I was
Spidey's down and versatility got nerfed. Okay, they pressed every defensive cooldown at full health.
I'm gonna be honest.
through.
I was trying to cast the last few moments of that game, and I wasn't sure if you were having something like a medical emergency. Like, I was like, what is happening? Like, should we double check on Sid? But yeah, definitely I can understand that. After some of the games we saw last week and how long they were going into dampening, yeah, seeing a Warlock get obliterated like that, yeah, it's interesting to see for sure. And I mean, that's what some of these changes can really do. And I think it's going to be risky for Method Black to play the Lock Mage again, and they are going to be going with just a straight up mirror. Zico, what do we want to see from Go Next in this one? Yeah, maybe there's a reason why they want to take some risky strategies, but I think Go Next. I mean, this is a team. Ratipie, when he plays the Rogue Mage Priest, and I mean, Fraud Katie and Ashley, obviously they're great Rogue Mage. Ratipie, at this point, I mean, he's just been so consistent.
Wait,
He's been
Zico's
so
gone
consistent
too. Okay.
on the Rogue Mage Priest. You're just. Okay, everyone's muted. At this point, this is just a two-person show. It's just going to be super.
See,
Keys
they
and
messed
myself.
up. They tried to mute me because I was too annoying with my high-pitched voice, but it's just... They can't. I'm too strong.
Can somebody just say that it's not on my end? Because I feel like this is going to give me
mine
like,
either.
oh, Zico muted. Zico muted, but I'm not muted. Like, it's not on my end. So that
Diabolus is writing their tweet right now.
Oh
Zico.
my God.
Zico and Maya just can't stop muting their mics, is what I just heard.
Come
but yeah.
on.
All right, here we
Okay,
go.
I think I think we've been freed,
That was a low
Zico.
blow.
I think they can hear us now.
We're back.
Good. You
Are
can,
we back?
I just want to take this moment to throw the production under the bus. That was not mine or I's fault. I'm just kidding. Don't write no mean
Now you're going to get a lower third. You asked for it.
we're gonna come out of this game. We're gonna
As
have
soon
a
as I
mean,
forget
a
to
mean
mute.
lowers. I didn't say anything. That's not that. That is all Zico, man.
As
all
soon
right.
as I forget to mute one time, it's going to happen.
Hook point, small map, Rogue Mage Priest Mirror. Zico, you want to see just a standard mage race coming in from Go Next, and it's like we kind of talked about. I mean, for Go Next, there's so much on the line. Method Black, they're very comfortable. They could lose this series. Obviously, they don't want to lose. Method Black is looking to assert absolute dominance in Europe, but if they did lose, for Method Black, it's really no big deal. For Go Next, there's literally everything on the line. Qualifying to the next round, so they need to win this series, and I think this is a great opportunity. You're not getting counter-comped. At worst, you go into a mirror matchup. Like, your destiny really is in your own hands, and I mean, on some level, if you're not going to win the Rogue Mage Priest mirror, then you have no one to blame but yourself, right? So I think for Go Next, this is a tremendous opportunity they have against Method Black, and I
in a lower bracket elimination round, you're mirroring somebody like Method Black. I mean, what is the or on the side of Method Black? You know, they just had a really quick game end right there from Go Next. What is the pressure like for these guys? What is the mental aspect in a game like this?
I feel like if you're Go Next, you're pretty happy. Like, you only play Disc Priest really, and you get a Disc Priest mirror.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like Ratified should be really happy about getting this matchup, as opposed to last week where it would have been a Mistweaver dampen fest where he wouldn't be able to keep up. So I think that if you're Ratified, you're pretty happy about it. Method Black, I feel like, should be more stressed, even though they're not risking their qualifications. It would not be very good for them overall. The tournament seemed to be eliminated so quickly. From Europe. We're seeing a lot of the top teams struggling. I think Method Orange didn't make it to top 8 in Europe. Method Black, they're obviously not out of it. And this Rogue Mage mirror looked heavily in their favor. But at the same time, I think Go Next tried a cheese strategy with the Spite. And now having seen it, they're like, maybe we shouldn't do it in the next time. So this is a standard game where both teams aren't running Spite. This is going to be the real test of whose Rogue Mage Priest is better.
All right, well, we'll find out soon enough. 1-1 Go Next versus Method Black in this mirror. Starting here.
All right, well, here it is. Go Next, Method Black 1-1, and this is going to be on hook point. Let's see if Method Black can assert the same sort of dominance we did see in game number 1, or if Go Next is going to find a little bit more control of the matchup, because what we saw in game number 1 is they tried to go after the Priest, and that definitely can work. If you can get 3 Spites on the Priest, you can really overwhelm and all in him, but I mean, Method Black expertly diffused that situation. I don't think that kind of cheese tactic is going to work against a team like Method Black.
Oh, they're doing it again.
Match.
They're doing it again. They're still running the Spite strategy. Is Chaz going to be overwhelmed here in game number 3? Go Next are committed to the Spite strategy. Even having lost game 1 trying to utilize it, they're sticking to their guns. And now the paint suppression trades, but Fried Kitty is absolutely being obliterated. Seconds within the match. Mass Dispel on the ice block. This is it. KO. This strat's not going to work. Method Black are too good for this cheese. Go Next need to go back to the drawing board.
Go Next, they're throwing away the series. I really don't like what they're doing. Method Black is just perfectly diffusing. You know, we're even seeing Waz just save his kidney shot, put a kidney shot on Ashley, and then that's a really difficult spot for Ashley to be in. If he trinkets, he just get full blinded if Chaz is in trouble. And yeah, I mean, I can't help but feel like Go Next, they're trying to just cheese, but it's not working at all. And unfortunately, they've thrown away 2 games and maybe thrown away this entire series.
Trinket out of the blind, whereas Chaz, he wants to sit through the CC chain, and then after that he doesn't have to worry about things like a Dragon's Breath poly that much, and just in general he's going to be sitting shorter CCs. So they want to punish that, of course, by trying to do a setup with those Gladiator Spites, but I feel like they're not holding him in place long enough. I mean, last time they didn't even commit the blind on Chaz. which is the entire advantage of him playing Relentless if you're going to go for that line of play. Not only did they mess that up completely, but once again, they're just giving up way too much freedom to Waz and Raikou when they're going for that Priest strategy, and that's putting them too far behind. Go for the Mage Race, and if you lose during the Mage Race, at least you got outplayed. Now they're just going for a strategy that just doesn't seem to work, unless Chaz makes like a huge error, or if they get really lucky with, 5 things from beyond spawning or something.
All right, well, go next. They've locked in Ashmane's Fall. Now it's Method Black's comp choice. Do you think they're trying again, Supatees, to...
Debating it again. If they lock Mage Lock again, I would
didn't.
be really surprised.
There's no way.
Yeah.
If Method Black locked Mage Black,
I would laugh at them.
I would actually be like,
Don't.
okay, what is happening?
You guys are safe. Don't worry. They locked in Rogue Mage again.
Yeah, good. All right, here it is.
Swapsy's so sad.
All right.
And I'm telling you, I'm going to be even, what would even annoy me more is if Go Next played Rogue Mage Priest and tried to
spited
all-in
him
Priest
again.
with Spite. I would actually just throw my heads up in the air. And
Just
Method
mute yourself
Black
for the
did
rest of
that
the
one game.
broadcast.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. If Method Black did it and it worked, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I think that's what they should do. They'd be like, oh, is that what you guys trying to do?
This is
right.
how you do it.
Well, why don't you just do it like this? This is how it's done, guys.
Okay, so go next. Let's just give a TLDR. How do you win this game if they do that same comp again that we've seen them play for this whole series? Like what exactly do they need to change if they want to try and win against Method Black here and maybe turn it around?
Well, they need to just change their strategy. They're trying to go for a cheese with the Spite trinket, the Gladiator Spite, and overwhelm Chaz with corruption and basically just all in him. But Waz knows exactly what to do, Raikou knows exactly what to do, and without the help of Ashley kind of shutting down Raikou and Waz are just keeping Rattapie in crowd control. They're bursting through, all of Fried Kitty's defenses quite easily and basically tossing Go Next aside. So what we want to see from Go Next is they need more control on Raikou. We want to see Ashley go after Raikou so he's getting garroted and he's getting kicked and kidney shot, and they can actually slow down the game a little bit, get crowd control on Chaz, and then maybe push through and take Raikou down. So we basically want to see Go Next do what Method Black is doing, and they have to do it better if they want to win this. And if they don't, then the series and their chance of qualifying, it's over, unfortunately for them.
Well, either way, what a great series this has been. It's really not often I feel like we get to see Method Black in a mirror, Supatees. Why is that, do you think? I think we've talked about it before. They really are they just trying to maximize the risk that they're taking? Like, if you play a mirror, it's kind of a riskier strategy.
Ben said before, I think in the last tournament, that Swapsy says if he can play a matchup where he can play badly and still win, that's the situation that they want. So in a Rogue Mage mirror, you can't play badly and still win because it's a mirror. If you play badly, you're gonna lose. So it's more of just trying to get a strat and a comp advantage. But now you're seeing the Rogue Mage mirror a lot more because the Gladiator Spite is back. I think that was a big factor. Conflict and Strife not applying to Kidney Shot, massive factor there. Versatility as a whole going down, massive factor there. Life Cocoon being a longer cooldown as well, contributing to it. So Discipline Priest looks to be a lot more, a lot better overall in the meta. I think that's also why we see teams like Unitas in North America, as I'm imagining they played Priest in their matchup against Method Orange. The Rogue Mage Priest that they were just owning with at the start is going to be back. So the Rogue Mage Priest here, it could be a good opportunity for Rattapie. I mean, they need to win this series. I think they need to win one more and then beat AWC, and they could qualify potentially to the circuit. So they've got a mirror. Stop throwing it away with the cheese. Just play the standard Rogue Mage strategy. You've got a meta that's now built for your team, and you've got a mirror. So there's really no excuses here. If they don't manage to pull it off, then they're not hitting the cutoff, and they'll have to come back next time stronger and better.
There's a dumb joke in there somewhere about Rattapie and cheese. It's a rat.
Oh.
I'm not gonna go for it though. I don't think. Well, it's a method.
Kind of did.
You kind of did, yeah.
I kind of in an indirect way, but it's Method Black versus Go at next. Pressure is really on for these guys. Can they turn it around, tie it up 2-2, or is Method Black going to send them out of the tournament?
All right, here we go. Waz going to be moving in. He gets the sap on Rattapie, and they're going to do it. They're bad, man. They're going for the all-in. Chaz gets caught into a blind, and it looks like a complete role reversal here for these two teams. Ratapai's in some trouble. He did Trinket out. The barrier will drop as well, and let's see if GoNext can punish it as well as Method Black did. Raikou now with his combustion doing some damage onto Ratapai. He's getting overwhelmed. He's traded out everything. Trinket, Rapture, Pain Suppression, Power Word Barrier. I don't know how much longer Ratapai is going to be able to survive. I think if they can get one more setup or maybe just outright kill Ratapai, this would be absolutely, completely unbelievable.
He's dead. I think he's just dead here. Chaz is in a poly. Ratapai is going to get KO'd with the same strategy. He's at 10% with Desperate Prey to kick the penance instantly. Is there a counterspell? There isn't, but it doesn't matter. Method Black take the cheese strategy and say, here's how you do it. Win the game in less than a minute with the same strategy that GoNext were getting stomped with. That was BM almost. That was like...
That's what we literally said before the game started. We're like, yeah, it would actually be kind of funny if Method Black now did that strat and killed Ratify with it. And they did.
That's feels bad. We're going next. Like they gotta be like, okay.
Okay.
Well,
F's in the chat, boys.